Yo, today is October 17, 2022. Welcome to Simply Bitcoin Live. We are your number one source for the peaceful Bitcoin revolution. We cover breaking news, culture, mimetic warfare. We show you only Bitcoin can give you true financial sovereignty. Big news today. You probably missed it. You probably didn't pay attention, but of course, what Simply Bitcoin does, we're going to connect the dots for you. So it's old news, right? We have massive oil and gas energy companies, better said, mining Bitcoin, whether that's directly or indirectly. But what I'm going to cover today is how that is getting even more investment. But anyways, before we start the show, I want to give a very special shout out to my awesome co-host. How you doing, Opti?
Good morning, Nico. Good morning, world. How are you doing? I'm feeling really good this Monday. I'm excited for this week. We've been putting a lot of work. We got a break this weekend. So it feels good, man. I feel good this Monday morning. I'm excited to continue to give you guys content. And of course, I'm always just as excited to hear the Nico Jones takes because I don't know what he's going to rant about. So this is going to be a good one. Today, though, on the culture, I found this article that I wanted to cover last week. It's on Bitcoin Mag, and it's really an article that is dear to me because I literally live this. And anyways, the title is called "Learning About Bitcoin is the Path to Financial Freedom." So I think this is going to be a good one. It is Monday. We're going to start the week off strong. But anyways, Nico, we have a guest here today.
Yes, we do. The one, the only, legendary host of the Bitcoin Matrix podcast. How you doing, Cedric?
I'm doing great, guys. I'm super pumped to be here. Excited on this Monday.
So, question, because since you're streaming from the International Space Station, how did you get gravity to work?
Well, I'm not that high up in the atmosphere. We're only around 19,000. So, I'm preparing for, going into the stratosphere. And it's been a bit bumpy and rocky and turbulent. But no, I have gravity where I am right now.
Well, when do you start floating? About 100,000?
I'd say about maybe 50K. But yeah, 100K, I think, really.
I like that. Opti, what do you have for us today on the culture, my friend?
I already said it, Nico. Let's get to the next segment, dude. You're not listening to me.
I am listening to you.
We got an article from Bitcoin Mag. Okay. Learning about Bitcoin is the path to financial freedom.
Opti's upset. Anyways, let's start the show. Number time. Brought to you by NODL. At this point, you should be running your own Bitcoin node. If you don't use your own Bitcoin node, you're trusting someone else's. Run your own version of Bitcoin Core, the Lightning Network, Whirlpool, and Dojo, all from the comfort of your own home. And if you're a digital nomad, you have absolutely no excuse because now you can run a NODL through a virtual private server. Visit nodl.eu today. All right, everybody. The Bitcoin price at the time of recording, 19,514 sats per dollar, 5,125. Block height, 759,100. Reachable Bitcoin node. Speaking of nodes, you should be running your own node by now. You can either build one or buy one. Go to NODL. Anyways, 15,286 blocks to the halving, 80,900 halving. Estimate April 20th, 2024. Total Lightning Network capacity, 4,995. Bitcoin capacity value, 97 million US dollars. Realized monetary inflation, taking the fiat currencies to school, whether that's the dollar, whether that's the pound, whether that's the euro. We're at 1.78%. Market capitalization, $374 billion. With B, Bitcoin is still tiny. Anyways, I wanted to play this today. Dylan Leclerc, shout out to him. He posted this really interesting video. And I'm assuming it's some type of forum, this some type of IMF forum, but it's interesting because they're saying the quiet part out loud, what us Bitcoiners have been telling you for a while now. Let's hear what they have to say, and then we'll talk about it. They're going to talk about central bank digital currencies. Let's check it out.
Third way we think CBDC can improve financial inclusion is through what we call programmability. That is, CBDC can allow government agencies and private sector players to program, to create smart contracts, to allow targeted policy functions For example, welfare payment. For example, consumption coupon. For example, food stamp. By programming CBDC, those money can be precisely targeted for what kind of people can own and what kind of use this money can be utilized. For example, for food. So this potential programmability can help government agencies to precisely target their support to those people who need support. So that way can also improve financial inclusion. Of course, I want to end with a caveat, because CBDC is not a panacea. CBDC cannot solve every challenge.
Okay, I've heard enough of that. So a couple things here, right? This is why we focus on saying Bitcoin is the most inclusive monetary network the world has ever seen, much more than anything that governments will always have to offer. But how they dress it up is really interesting, because they hide the totalitarianism in noble causes. They say it's about food. They say it's about helping the poor. It's about inclusivity. But he still slipped up. He still had some, he still exposed himself a little bit. They will get to decide how people can and how people cannot spend their money. He said it. You heard it. But he said it. Oh, no, but this is for food. How do we know that governments aren't going to use that for more malicious purposes? I mean, take a look at what happened in Canada, right? So this is crazy. I actually tweeted this out when I saw this video this morning. I said, look, guys, you're going to have to decide as an individual whether you want a future of freedom, which is Bitcoin and decentralization is going to enable, but you also have to take personal responsibility in this future, or you're going to have to, or you pick a future where you outsource that personal responsibility and you pick central bank digital currencies, because that is the future that they want for you. And remember, connect the dots. Remember what the PayPal policy was before they walked it back, right? I said, hey, if you tout out any type of misinformation, who gets to decide what is misinformation or not? We will fine you. And what is the outcome of that? What is the result of that? People start to self-censor and they don't go against the establishment narrative. Right? That is the future ahead of us. And as individuals, we have to decide. It's in our hands whether we want that future. We don't want that future. If Bitcoin didn't exist, that's the future ahead of us, and our only way of fighting would be political means. Now we have Bitcoin is a tool where it allows you to opt out, and Bitcoin gives you two awesome features, which it gives you the ability to vote with your wallet, but also, more importantly, it gives you the feature to vote with your feet. And if you can memorize 12 words in your head, which you definitely can, especially if you're in a sticky situation, you can bring all of your wealth with you, and you can go where you're treated best, which eventually will force governments to compete for your business, compete for you to be there in the first place. And we're already seeing this on a much smaller scale between New York and California. People are fleeing in droves and they're going to more friendlier states, more freedom friendly, more business friendly states like Texas and Florida, right? So very interesting, very dystopian, and fuck these central planners. I'm just happy Bitcoin exists. Cedric, you want to hit that?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to unpack there. I wonder, though, I mean, with the CBCs, I mean, that kind of, I would think, puts PayPal out of business. I don't know why PayPal's playing along right now. Maybe they're already captured. I have no idea. But I was surprised by the reaction and a lot of people deleting their account. For that clip that you played, I don't think most people are paying attention to that and reading the tea leaves. So I was surprised that people gave PayPal some kind of response. I think their response was, kind of BS. I mean, saying that was a mistake. I mean, mistakes don't happen at corporations this size. Verbiage doesn't get out without several levels of approval and going usually through the highest order. So I think it's getting really nefarious out there. And I do think that the panopticon is enclosing very quickly. I think in a lot of ways we already live in one. but I think it's getting more and more apparent and in our face every day. I'm kind of curious what the next moves are going to be.
100%. Let's see, because remember, and we always say this, guys, their only tool left in their arsenal is coercion. They have to force people to use these things, because if it's just a match of incentives, Bitcoin wins hands down every single day, right? So what are the attack vectors? We saw the one from the White House. We saw they're clearly going after Bitcoin's energy usage, and they're using the climate as an excuse, just as this guy is using food and hunger and poverty as an excuse to for countries to adopt central bank digital currencies, which is going to give governments it's a central planner's wet dream. It's like, hey, you behave bad, turn off your welfare. Hey, you behave bad, turn off your food. And again, this is not a conspiracy theory. They're already doing this in China, right? With the social credit system, which is completely combined with the central bank digital currencies. And they want to move this to the West, right? That's what happened with PayPal not too long ago. Anyways, Opti, you want to chime in?
Hold on. I moved my audio. So 1 second. I was just going to say, like, yikes, man. You said it best. They are saying the silent part out loud. And anyone that is agreeing with CBDCs at this point really just is not thinking critically. They have bit the narrative hook, line, and sinker. And I really like how they have changed the narrative framing, like their memes, targeted programmability. It's like, it sounds so technical and forward thinking, but in reality, we know it's just a thin veiled excuse to censor people. If they can target programmability, as they're talking about in the money, what's that mean? They're going to make sure that they stop dissenting political views, that if you have wrong think, they will cut you out of the system, like we're talking about with PayPal. And they will do targeted UBI, or what's the other programmability that they've been talking about? Making sure that your CBDC, your money, has an expiration date. Like, all this stuff is absolutely insane level dystopian tech that these people are trying to push on us. And we say all the time, Bitcoin is the answer. Bitcoin fixes this, and you don't have to ask anyone or have any of these limits on your money, because Bitcoin is a free, open source, the most inclusive, the most equitable money in the world, and no one's in control of this. And that's a feature, not a bug. And these people are absolutely insane and tyrannical, and have gone completely, they're lost in the sauce, is like the best way that I can put it. The fact that they're trying to tell us that these are features, like, we're going to program your money so that you can only use it with this very narrow lane of use cases, is like, this is insane. It's absolutely insane that they're on stage trying to market this as something that's good for us. It's wholesale bad for society and for individuals at large. So this is nuts. They are definitely saying the quiet part out loud, and it's amazing that people aren't seeing what we're seeing.
Hey man,
they're screaming at Kanye West right now. I mean, I don't know if he was holding on to that letter and he just released it and he's doing whatever he's doing with marketing. But if you're going to get cut off from business services and banking, and you don't utilize Bitcoin, that's kind of taking away not only people's speech, but their ability to live, to feed themselves, to get their ideas out, to work, to do commerce. It's almost a death sentence, sort of aligned when if you take away someone's citizenship, you're almost sentencing them to death. There's just not a lot you can do in this world when you don't have certain papers, or especially in the fiat world. So with Kanye, I mean, they're screaming loud and clear. And what's interesting is I think that a lot of the people that this happens to, they get painted as bad people. And even though I think I whether you think Kanye is good, bad, or evil, I think people are allowed to have bad ideas, they're allowed to say dumb things. I mean, they can suffer consequences. But in terms of social media impacting your banking services or your employment or your ability to generate income, this is egregious. But most people, I think, are going to take it along the lines of, well, I don't agree, so therefore this problem doesn't affect me. Or maybe that person stepped out of lines and they should have known better, even if I agree or disagree. And that's just a very slippery, scary slope.
Yeah, absolutely. And it goes back to, the theme that we've been trying to tell you guys. And again, I know that things are a little obfuscated right now, the battle lines, right? And it's not very apparent. But I promise you, as time progresses and they continue to get more desperate and desperate and desperate, it's going to become very apparent. It's Bitcoin or slavery. There is no middle ground. Okay. It's government money, of which a few bureaucratic elite get to pick and choose what you can buy, what you can eat, where you can travel to, right? Or you have a decentralized solution, rules without rulers, which is Bitcoin, right? It's the only two options you have, right? So very interesting stuff. We'll cover it. I would even say this is more than Clown World, man. This is some 1984 fourth turning type of, I don't know. Anyways, let's get to the news.
The Daily News.
Brought to you by Bitbox 2 Bitcoin Only Edition, a hardware wallet by Shift Crypto. Crypto like cryptography. It's secure, it's open source, and it's so easy your mom can set it up. Self-custody is the revolution, and the Bitbox makes it simple. Do not leave your Bitcoin on an exchange. Order a Bitbox today.
All right. For our audio listeners, you're listening to Simply Bitcoin Live. Check out this tweet by Tur Demester. In 1997, 15% of Canadian households had an internet connection. 3 years later, it was 51%. And he retweeted a tweet by Kevin Rook, a friend of the show. The Bank of Canada just released their Bitcoin ownership survey results, and the numbers are incredible. 13% of Canadians now hold Bitcoin, and over 25% of Canadians between 18 and 34 years old. Now, this is a big problem for them. You want to know why the Biden administration is so desperate on rolling out central bank digital currencies. This is why. You want to know why they're tuning up the heat with the regulation. This is why. You want to know why the SEC still hasn't approved a Bitcoin spot ATF. This is why. You want to know why Catlin Long's bank, Custodia, hasn't been given a federal bank charter by the Fed. This is why. This is terrifying for them. And remember, this is a grassroots. This is a bottom-up movement. How do you convince the public if 75% of the public is holding Bitcoin and they're benefiting because of Bitcoin's incentives? How do you convince them that Bitcoin is bad and central bank digital currencies are good? You don't, which is why they're so desperate to try to stem the flow. Remember Christine Lagarde's own words, Opti's ex-girlfriend. If there's an escape valve, people will use it. Bitcoin is that escape valve. So these are very bullish numbers. And for our audio listeners, percentage of Canadians holding Bitcoin, it continues to go up. In 2016, I apologize, it was only 3.2%. Fast forward, 2021, it was 13.1%. What's it going to be in the next halving? Anyways, some data from Glassnode as well, right? These are addresses with 0.01 Bitcoin, continues to go parabolic. For our audio listeners, the number of addresses with 0.01 in January 12th, 2018 was 7,343,000. Fast forward till today, October 12th, 2022, the number of addresses with 0.01 Bitcoin is 10.7 million addresses, an increase of 3 million addresses. But it's not only 0.01, it's also addresses with 0.1 also going parabolic. Addresses with 1 Bitcoin. A lot of whole coiners are being minted. You gotta love the bear markets, right? There's a silver lining. Also continues to go parabolic. We're almost at 1 million addresses holding 1 Bitcoin. Glorious to see. Amazing, man. Talk about the power of Bitcoin's incentives for the win once again, and connect this with the video from the guy with the IMF advertising advocating for central bank digital currencies. Look, no wealth redistribution, no mechanism, no central planners doing anything. People acting on their own incentives, rules without rulers, and that will always beat the group, the cabal, the bureaucratic cabal that thinks that they could plan your life better than you can plan your life yourself. And here we are. Bitcoin's incentives, once again, for the win. The honey badger is undefeated. Opti, what are your thoughts, bro?
Well, first of all, you love to see it. Love to see that Canadians are adopting Bitcoin. But my question is like, what's the tipping point? Because I saw another metric over the weekend that I forget who it was. It was documenting Bitcoin or Bitcoin Mag, but they were saying that America has like a 16% adoption rate of adults. And it's like, we always talk about the intolerant minority. And I'm just wondering, at what point does it become just completely clear that Bitcoin is winning and people can't stop it? I think we're getting there. And we've been talking about it for a while, that Bitcoin is crossing that mainstream consciousness Rubicon. And it's just, we see it every single day in the news. Like, you can't stop the signal. As much as they try to dunk on Bitcoin, the signal continues to bubble to the top, and the Bitcoin incentives just stay winning. And it's just awesome to see that people are adopting Bitcoin. They are learning about Bitcoin, and people are starting to save themselves from all this financial ridiculousness going on over there, where they're just stealing your wealth and then telling you that it's okay that you are losing this much wealth and that this is the status quo. So I love to see these numbers. And I'm just wondering, like, what is the tipping point where we get enough Bitcoiners in the world where it just becomes very obvious to everyone that Bitcoin is here to stay, that Bitcoin is the best savings mechanism, and that nothing any government does can stop it. So obviously we are still in for the fight. We're still into seeing all this stuff happen out. We're in the first innings of this then they fight you stage, but it's becoming very clear that people are waking up to the rigged game against them, and they're starting to save and adopt in Bitcoin. And like I say all the time, the Bitcoin price is simply a real-time reflection of people's understanding of Bitcoin. And so if there is more people adopting Bitcoin, as we see, I'm sure this is the highest adoption levels that Canada has seen, and probably America. Guys, we don't like to speculate on the price, but it's going to start going up soon, and more people are going to start adopting Bitcoin. So this cycle is going to get absolutely crazy, and this is why we're here. I'm here for this. We're in the front row of the first innings of this crazy stuff, and I'm just excited to be a Bitcoiner. Like, it's a
privilege, dude. It's a privilege to like have front row seats to watching a technology being adopted by the world that is going to fundamentally change the world, just like the internet did. But this time it's fundamentally different, right? The internet never solved the inflation problem, right? This Bitcoin is that solution. And the wealth renaissance, the entrepreneur renaissance that I think we're going to see is something that we have trouble conceptualizing, man. And I'm really excited for that. Anyway, Cedric.
Hold on, Nico. Hold on. Before we go to Cedric, let's read this comment by Vake. He says, the tipping point is probably some nice round number like 100,000 or $1 million. The normies will see it on the news and wake up. Let's go. I think I agree with this. I think I definitely agree with that.
I have a soundboard effect for 100,000. 100,000. All right, Cedric, what are your thoughts on all this, man?
Well, to go back to adoption, I think my main concern here is around self-custody and whether people are actually taking custody of their Bitcoin. Addresses with a little bit of Bitcoin going up, that could be people putting $50 on Robinhood, and that's not really, Bitcoining. So I would like, and I don't know if that message and enough education is around custodianship of your own Bitcoin as sort of the silver bullet to a lot of the issues we're seeing now. In terms of 1 million or 100,000, when does retail come back or get excited and you see a jubilee? I think around $1 million a coin, or at $1 million a coin, when we hit 1 penny per sat, is when you'll see exchanges flip from pricing in Bitcoin to pricing in Satoshis. And at 1 cent a Satoshi, Bitcoin's a shitcoin again. And it goes from 1 cent to 2 cents overnight. I think that's when you see a lot more volatility and when people start to have less unit price bias.
Dude. So, okay, so could you just say 1 million, Cedric? Just say 1 million.
1 million.
Anyways, moving on, ladies and gentlemen. I'm having fun. Opti's got to teach me all the tips and the tricks. Anyways, so getting to what the title of the video is today. Let's talk about Bitcoin mining, the incentives provided by Bitcoin mining. And let's take a look at the hash rate, shall we? Continuing to go parabolic in the depths of a bear market. It's becoming incredibly difficult to be a Bitcoin miner nowadays. But remember, guys, what happened in 2018, right? Happened in 2018, the Bitcoin bull market, right, had a blow off top around December. The hash rate continued to go parabolic until 2018. So it took about a year for the hash rate to correct, right? So kind of, very similar, something very similar is happening, right? Bitcoin price collapsed, the hash rate continues to go up. And now why is that? Remember, it takes a lot of time to build out a lot of these facilities. So a lot of these companies raised a lot of money to buy infrastructure, to buy miners. And then what are they going to do? Just going to sit on that? No, they're going to deploy it, right? So just wanted to mention that. Now, this is really interesting. Something that we covered back over in March, right? Exxon is mining Bitcoin in North Dakota as part of its plan to slash emissions, right? Some news came out today following that up that I think you guys might find as signal. So Exxon Mobile, the top oil and gas producer in the US, is piloting a project to mine Bitcoin in North Dakota, according to people with knowledge of the matter. They've been doing this for months. Now let's see how successful it's been. I'm going to make the argument that I think it was successful. Let's check this out. So similar to ConocoPhillips mining scheme in North Dakota, back in region, Exxon is diverting natural gas that would otherwise be burned off into generators, which convert the gas into electricity used to power shipping containers full of thousands of Bitcoin miners. Exxon launched the pilot in late January 2021, expanded its build out in July. Some signal there, expanded its build out. Now, it also isn't Exxon. This is an international phenomenon. This is Russia's Gazprom and BitRiver partner to develop crypto mining operations. Gazprom is Russia's state-owned energy company. It's absolutely massive. If you're in Europe, you know what Gazprom is. Well, maybe not so much anymore because of the sanctions, but that's where Europe purchased a lot of its natural gas. So you're seeing the same phenomenon happen in the United States and also internationally. Energy companies are realizing that they could mine Bitcoin. Now, what's really interesting, the reason I want to talk about today was Cursu Energy Systems acquires Great American Mining. Who is Cursu Energy Systems? Let's go back to that article. For over a year, Exxon has been working with Cursu Energy Systems. That's right, guys. The company that Exxon Mobile, huge energy company in the United States, uses to mine Bitcoin, just acquired Great American Mining. What is Great American Mining? Great American Mining, our fleet of trailer-mounted hash rate can be rapidly deployed to solve gas flaring and take advantage of stranded energy. Oil and gas producers can increase production, reduce flaring, and make more money from their gas with Great American Mining. So let's read the announcement. It goes on to say, Cursu Energy Systems announced today that it has acquired the operating assets of Great American Mining. The acquisition accelerates Cursu's digital flare migration business through additional scale and customer relationships while enabling Cursu Energy to more efficiently reduce the impact of natural gas flaring using Cursu's partnered DFM technologies and large-scale advanced operational capabilities. The acquisition integrates Great American Mining's operations into Cursu's DFM systems to utilize stranded and wasted energy resources to power modular data centers and enable energy-intensive computation. The acquisition of Great American Mining's assets will add approximately 9% to Cursu's capacity, bringing Cursu to a new total of approximately 125 flare gas-powered modular data centers deployed and 300 employees across 6 states. Dude, that is crazy. That's a lot of signal right there. Continuing to expand in the depths of hell of a bear market. And I just want to say, for anybody who attacks Bitcoin's energy use, do you have a place to put that stranded gas? Could you monetize it? You can't monetize it. So why don't you all shut the fuck up? I don't know what else to say, man. But or better said, is it really about the climate? Is it really about the energy use, or is it about control? No. Cedric, you want to hit it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's about control. So I don't think it's about monetization of these assets. If it was, I mean, they'd be pointing nuclear reactors at Bitcoin mining. And stabilizing grids all around the world in far off places that have resources. So I think that's apparent. But I do think this is incredibly bullish to see the pairing of the energy industry, oil and gas specifically, with Bitcoin mining. It's great for the environment. It's great for just energy production. And the oil and gas industry is one of the most powerful industries in the world. So talk about an entrenched interest and skin in the game would be fantastic. Every time that these projects build and get bigger and more companies dip their toe, it's just a tremendous positive for Bitcoin in terms of regulation and politics and things of that nature. Not that we try to always go there, but these things are important in terms of building out. And bear markets are for building. So now's the time when this stuff's going to get done, and that's why it's going under the radar right now, because people aren't paying attention. So and that's when I think a lot of these news stories will get released. So
yeah, no, and dude, and Cedric, I think you hit the nail on the head there, and you dropped some signal, right? Is bear markets are for building, right? And then so you're seeing this move by the energy sector doubling down on Bitcoin mining, and then also from a institutional perspective, you're also seeing the build out of the institutional infrastructure, right? Whether that's BlackRock offering Bitcoin to their institutional clients, whether that's Fidelity as well, right? You had the NASDAQ announce that they're going to launch a Bitcoin exchange, right? So a lot of things are happening in the depths of hell of a bear market. We're 70% down, but all this building is happening then. This wasn't building during the bull market, right? And I think that's some signal right there. If they really thought that Bitcoin was going to go away, would they really be doing all this stuff? Maybe they're stupid. Well, I don't know.
They're also building the rails during the bear market and filling their bags. Mm-hmm. So then they'll have bags to sell to retail on the way up when retail's excited again.
100%.
I mean, it kind of fits the cycles.
100%. Opti, we got a request.
I already have it.
I am building.
But again, you love to see it. I said in the first part, but this is what we say all the time. Bitcoiners build in the bear market. So
I am building.
And to everyone out there that hates on Bitcoin's energy use, Bitcoin doesn't waste energy. It's obviously incentivizing the use of stranded energy, and it's sparking energy efficiency. So, shouts out to all our friends over at Great American Mining for this move. It sounds like they may have sold those assets, but they're building towards this end goal where we've been talking about for a long time, that energy companies will get into Bitcoin mining. And furthermore, I forget who said it first, but that Bitcoin mining companies will become the energy companies. And we're seeing this symbiotic relationship happen in real time. So love to see it. As we've been saying for a while, in the bear market, there is a lot of things that are being built out right now. And when this next cycle starts going, when the price starts moving again, like we just talked about the tipping point, it's going to get absolutely insane, because retail is going to notice that, oh, wait, all these institutions, all these energy companies, even the payment companies, they're all getting into Bitcoin. And while, Bitcoin doesn't need anyone in particular, it does give Bitcoin a sense of legitimacy when you have these big corporations that are have their toes in Bitcoin. So again, I really do believe that this next time around, when the market starts moving again, people are going to be very surprised at how the Bitcoin infrastructure has been built out. And it's going to be very surprising, because we see it all the time, the gradually then suddenly meme. And that suddenly part is going to blow people's minds. And I mean, we're seeing Bitcoin not only spread its tentacles out in the corporate world, but we're also seeing it spread the consciousness in the cultural world. Like we're seeing people wake up to this, and celebrities, we're seeing it bubble up in media, we're seeing it bubble up in corporations. So like, you can't stop the signal. And it's, again, Bitcoin just stays winning, and Bitcoiners just stay winning, and we just continue to be right, and it just feels good. It just feels good.
Feels really, really good. Anyways, I'm excited for the Monday edition of The Culture. Are you guys ready for some relentless optimism? I'm super pumped. Anyways, let's get to the culture.
The Daily Culture.
Brought to you by SwanBitcoin.com. Swan is the best way to build your Bitcoin stack with automated Bitcoin savings plans and instant purchases, serving clients of any size from $10 to $10 million. We love Swan because they incentivize self-custody and dollar cost averaging. What are you waiting for? Visit SwanBitcoin.com today. All right, guys, I also want to give a very special shout out to Pacific Bitcoin. It's going to be the largest Bitcoin conference on the West Coast. It's November 10th through the 11th in Los Angeles, California. Speaker list includes, of course, Michael Saylor. The Chad Saylor is going to be there. Lynn Alden, Corey Clipston, Jeff Booth, Dylan LeClaire, Breed Love, Mark Moss, Guy Swan, Preston Pish, I can never say his name. Nico and Opti are going to be doing a live Simply Bitcoin from Pacific Bitcoin. You're not going to want to miss this Bitcoin celebration. You could take advantage of the promo code, all caps, Simply, to get a major discount on your Pacific Bitcoin tickets. Guys, it's coming up. It's in less than a month. Don't want to miss it. Take advantage of the promo code, Simply. Get a discount, Pacific Bitcoin. Opti, what do you have for us today, bro?
Let's go. All right, guys. So I saw this article last week, and for those in the spaces, it's called Learning About Bitcoin is the Path to Financial Freedom. And this is one of those things where I feel I have to cover this because I've experienced this in my personal life. And I look around at people all the time, and I just know that if they went down the rabbit hole, Bitcoin would help them so much. But this is why we continue to spread the signal. This is why we continue to try to push these messages so that people understand Bitcoin is the solution. So anyways, let me get in this article. This is on Bitcoin Magazine. I'm really loving these opinion pieces that they're dropping on Bitcoin Magazine. It's really awesome stuff. This one's by the Bitcoin General, and the title is Learning About Bitcoin is the Path to Financial Freedom. Bitcoin breaks the financial bonds created by the monopolization of money. And I really like this beginning. I usually don't read the disclaimer right here, but I like this one. He says, this is an opinion editorial by the Bitcoin General, a Bitcoin proponent, seeker of truth, respecter of individuality, and appreciator of freedom. Perfect context. Anyways, I am going to read a little bit on this article because he does all the work for me, and then we'll jump in for it a little bit. So for decades, the legacy financial establishment has capitalized on its position to manage wealth for the vast majority of investors. On January 3rd, 2009, Satoshi Nakamoto did something revolutionary. He mined the Genesis block of Bitcoin, and after witnessing the scandalous events of the great financial crash of 2008, enough was enough. Big banks engaged in reckless conduct with predatory lending practices and incessant greed that drove the world into global recession. Then came the massive corporate bailouts via the money printer, and then enter Bitcoin. It forged a new path forward. It's an opportunity to pursue wealth and financial independence for the common man. The grip of the financial elites was slowly loosened as a new digital asset class was created to loosen the grips of government-controlled domestic money. I think I need to give it some horns on that one. Anyways, Bitcoin is the money of the people because no central bank or government controls it. In fact, many governments are so threatened by it, many have imposed heavy restrictions on its use or have even outright banned it. And we brought the receipts for this on this show multiple times. And this is the message that we continue to push on everyone, that Bitcoin is financial freedom because this is the separation of money and state. And if you're part of this show, you already know. If you're a fan, one of our friends out there that's always chilling in the chat, you already know this. But I do these cultural messages so that we can get these clips out to people so that they understand why we are so insistent on Bitcoin being the vehicle of financial independence, because it creates more financial freedom to the individual and keeps government overreach in check with its robust network. The resistance of the legacy financial and elite establishment only galvanized this point further. And as we're showing, even in today's news, change is on the horizon. Bitcoin is being adopted all around the world, in first world, in third world countries. It's in the culture, it's in the news, it's our meme world, and everyone is living in it because Bitcoin benefits society to such an extent, and it's happening at such a fast notion that it's literally breaking the internet. In a good way. Anyways, the legacy financial industry mostly remains critical of Bitcoin because the benefits of self-custody eliminates the needs for these legacy institutions, or at least reduces their role. Thanks to Nakamoto, nearly every human being on this earth can now exercise the option of self-custody of their wealth and savings. And we tell you guys all the time, self-custody is the revolution. Download those Bitcoin wallets on your mobile phone, on your desktop. I've named them a lot of times and I'll continue to name them, but let me get to the bottom of this article before I just go on my rants. And he says, of course, one would be remiss in not acknowledging the learning curve of Bitcoin. There's people that are tech savvy. There's people running nodes. It seems complex. When it comes to Bitcoin, people may look at it as an investment, but you need to assess your own risk tolerance and time preference and proceed accordingly. And for some, the highs and lows of Bitcoin might prove to be too much, and for others, not so much. Shouts out out to all my Bitcoin degens out there. But the one primary benefit is freedom. Freedom to purchase, hold, or transfer holdings anywhere one desires in the world in record time at a minimal cost. Bitcoin is freedom from the shackles of big banks who work on their time, set their own non-negotiable exorbitant fees, and Bitcoin fixes this. Anyways, choosing the path of financial independence through Nakamoto's ingenious digital innovation is an option that can no longer be ignored. For those who no longer want to trust the legacy system with their hard-earned money, human ingenuity has blazed a new trail. Big banks no longer have a monopoly on the money. They have profited, gamed the system, defrauded the masses, and manipulated their way to the top, all in the name of greed. And seeing top financial executives outwardly attack Bitcoin proves even further that they see it as a threat. I've said it all the time. Anytime I see a government or an institution that is a banker or something hate on Bitcoin, it just shows me that we are right and that we are doing what we're supposed to be doing, what we said we are doing, because if they feel threatened, then that's a good thing. Anyways, the beauty of it all is Bitcoin's deflationary nature. It is the antithesis of fiat system, which is perpetually inflationary. And this is not to say market dips will not affect Bitcoin. To win in Bitcoin is to run the marathon. One hodler once described it as a head game that challenges you at every level. The volatility in Bitcoin will test the nerves of many and possibly even force them to reassess their risk tolerance. But there's no advisor to blame, no broker to reach out, no fund manager to fire. One must take the time to learn the protocol, understand its potential, and jump into the roller coaster. Bitcoin is a revolution of the individual. It is taking self-responsibility of your life and taking it back from the nanny state out there. But as a seasoned investor with years in the trenches once says, you need to be ready to take a punch, and the punch may never come, but you'll be in a much better psychological position if you are ready for it. I've been saying this consistently on the show, that you need to prepare right now because it is the calm before the storm. When things start going crazy against, once the price starts moving, and we're seeing even more breakneck adoption of Bitcoin, you're going to get caught up in all the dopamine, you're going to get caught up in all the hype, and if you aren't prepared now, it can get very crazy. And this is why we come here every single day to try to make sure that people are prepared and they've done their homework, they've educated themselves, and they've even studied the critics. You study the arguments against Bitcoin so that you are better prepared for when you need to go orange pill people. Anyways, we all know the central bank manipulation is an all-time high, fiat value consistently losing value, and we have governments and institutions out there fighting Bitcoin. So I say all that to just say, guys, we know that Bitcoin is financial freedom. If you are here, you've experienced this for yourself. You understand that Bitcoin self-custody is the revolution. I'll continue to run down the products that I like. You know, if you're on a desktop, Bitcoin Core, Spectre, Sparrow. If you are on Electro, yeah. Nico's an Electro Maxi. If you're on your phone, you know, Breeze, Moon, Blue Wallet, Wallet of Satoshi. If you know, hardware wallets, Cold Card, Seed Signer, Shift, Bitbox. Like, guys, the tools are out there and they're continuing to get better. And furthermore, if you are buying your Bitcoin on KYC exchanges, use CoinJoin implementations like Join Market. And, you know, like, we are advocates on getting Bitcoin any way possible, peer-to-peer, with Bitcoin with no sign up. If you are trading your privacy for convenience, we like Swan. But guys, understand that the revolution is self-custody. Bitcoin does provide financial freedom because we've said it so many times and we've experienced it in our own lives. The amount of human capital that Bitcoin will unlock going into this next bull run, going into the next 4, 8, 10, 12 years is going to be absolutely insane. And we're going to start to create a world that no longer steals from us, that no longer steals from future generations, and we can build on a solid foundation that is the Bitcoin standard. And this is what we are such big advocates about, because Bitcoin really is freedom, guys. And the world is waking up to this signal. As we said in the news, we have energy companies adopting Bitcoin. We have the highest number of adoptions in first world countries. We have third world countries, communities revolving around Bitcoin. And it's just so beautiful to see and be a part of, that we can be journalists and cover this stuff for you guys every single day and tell you that the revolution is happening in real time, and it will not be televised, but it will be streamed on Simply Bitcoin. So continue to push that signal, guys. Continue to stay positive. Continue to be relentlessly optimistic, or if I said militantly optimistic and positive, because we are in an information war, guys, and we really need to understand and buckle down that we are in the trenches. And it's upon us as individuals to get this signal out, because there is no marketing team for Bitcoin. And this is why we do what we do. And this is why I like to cover articles like this on the show, so that we can continue to beat this message in people's minds that Bitcoin is saving us all. And we have the arc, man. And it's just so beautiful to be a part of it. So beautiful to be this early and see it take over the world in real time. Anyways, rant over. I get excited about these stuff on Monday morning. I get hyped up. I know I read a little more than usual, Nico, but I love this.
You embody the optimism that Bitcoin gives you, right? In this world of darkness, of nihilism that fiat has incepted the vast majority of the world with. I can't save for a better future. I'll never have enough money to buy a house. I'll never have, I can't afford these things. The politicians, divide and conquer us, saying it's the left, it's the right, but the fact is that the money is broken, man. And it's not a coincidence, right? That when you change your operating system, shout out to CK for that, you start to feel optimistic about the future. Because not only is your money not stealing from you, it's actually increasing in purchasing power over time. And our mission at Simply is to get that message out, because we fundamentally believe that if enough people change that operating system, it will fundamentally change the world for the better. Anyways, Cedric, what are your thoughts, man?
Bear markets are the opportunity to change your own operating system. Bear markets are something to be excited about if you put in the work. So now is the time where you can actually mine Bitcoin with your brain. You can work at your fiat day job or your fiat career, and you can make some fiat and buy Bitcoin on an exchange. One day you won't be able to go to an exchange to buy Bitcoin, just like you don't go to an exchange to buy dollars right now in America. It's just the money we use. So this is the opportunity to mine Bitcoin with your brain. And there's no better time to do it than during a bear market. If you bought at the peak, you owe it to yourself to put in the work now to find out what you're holding, whether you have enough, whether you should have more. To say to go on what CK has been saying is that probably if you've been stacking, and by the end of this bear market, if you're stacking, you're going to have enough Bitcoin for 2030 when hyper Bitcoinization comes. But you need to secure your Bitcoin, and you need to get you and your family to 2030 in a healthy manner. So there's a lot of work to this, and so you got to put in the work now. And that is the real opportunity.
Amen. I think Cedric hit the absolute nail on the head. Start stacking now. Remember, people were saying it was too late when Bitcoin hit 100, when Bitcoin hit $10. We don't understand what something that has absolute scarcity. Canute says it perfectly. 21 million divided by everything, divided by infinity, right? And it's very difficult to conceptualize that. But so far, I think the results speak for themselves. Anyways, let's get to the meme review. Let's do it.
The Daily Meme Review.
Brought to you by Cypher Safe. Don't be that person that loses their Bitcoin seed due to fire damage, water damage, dog attacks. Back up your generational Bitcoin wealth on steel, and there's no better place to do it than the Cypher Grid by Cypher Safe. And now check out their new Bitcoin art, the Bitcoin Rulux triangle, only on cyphersafe.io.
All right, boys and girls out there in Simply Bitcoin land, you already know tweets are the bullet and memes are the artillery in this meme warfare. You guys are in an information war, or as I like to call it, a disinformation war. So you need to continue to counter the narratives, continue to make the memes, continue to have calls to action, because a lot of people don't have the time or don't want to put in the effort to read, 1,000-word articles. So we continue to spread the message in meme form. Anyways, this first one is by Coinbits. And it goes, shitcoins aren't completely useless. Good morning. And he goes, how much you learn from theory, from doing is a little more, and then from mistakes is a little more. But I wanted to add other berries, variation, all this. And he goes, small update. The highest way you learn is a big green candle from memes. Yes, this is what we tell you guys all the time about memes. And this next one, Nico, I don't know if you saw this one, but this is at Dirt Gigi, and it's kind of a continuation of the Canadian news about the percentage of Canadians who own Bitcoin. And you guys all seen the IQ meme. We have, my fellow left bell curves over here, just stack sats, and then we have the midwits, and it goes, no, you got to have a balanced portfolio. Investing requires careful due diligence. Make a savings plan. Pay off your most expensive loans first. Save up for a house. Think about your pension when you're 25. Choose a credit card with bonus programs tailored to your individual needs. And then we got those high right IQ people in the cloak go, just acquire Bitcoin. Well, this isn't just a meme.
That's not us. That's not us.
Well, the main part about this is this isn't just a meme anymore. The best part about this meme by Dirt Gigi is we got the numbers here of the percentage of Canadians who own Bitcoin from 2016 to 2021. And just look at this highlighted area right here. Financial literacy low, 15% owning Bitcoin, medium 8.8%, and financial literacy high, 14.7%. The numbers are in. Life is meme and meme is life. It is our meme world, and everyone is just living in it.
Opti, it wouldn't be true. It wouldn't be funny if that was true. If it wasn't true, we wouldn't understand that. That's the common denominator in memes. They have to be true, man. Holy crap.
Can't stop the signal. This next one, I really don't like to add myself in these memes, but I did this tweet 2 years ago, didn't get lucky, studied Austrian economics, and shouts out to my buddy Toxic Bitcoiner, because we tried to make this a quote like 4 times, but we turned it into meme form. Didn't get lucky, studied Austrian economics. This is what I try to push all the time. Yes, this is what I try to push all the time on the show and the culture, that I try to give you guys tidbits of Austrian economics and why we do what we do and why this is the Bitcoin daily culture. But we didn't get lucky. We studied Austrian economics. We felt the pain. We huddled through the pain, and we continued to double down through the bear market. And this next one, this is a picture that went around Twitter over the weekend. It's Kanye West wearing a Satoshi Nakamoto hat, and people were saying it was fake, but shouts out to Ding Dong. It says stack harder. And just to prove, I don't have it in here, but take my word for it, I just saw another picture of him on Twitter from the Daily Mail this morning, where he's continuing to wear the Satoshi Nakamoto hat. So again, the signal.
But I heard, hold on. I heard that is photoshopped, Opti.
No. I just saw another picture that is on the Daily Mail of him in a different outfit wearing the same hat. So it is a real pic. It is a real hat. I could try to get it up real quick if you want, but I just verified another picture, and it's not just a Photoshop on Twitter. It was in the Daily Mail. It's another paparazzo taking a picture of Kanye West wearing Satoshi Nakamoto hat. So again,
dude, we hit the nail on the head. Bro, remember Friday's show? I said it's just a matter of time. Enough banks close their doors. Again, guys, I'm not saying we agree with what Kanye said or what Alex Jones said, right? In fact, we fundamentally disagree with 99% of it, but it's just a matter of incentives, right?
You can see it here.
You cancel someone's money, you cancel someone's ability to pay for things. Obviously, they're going to look for alternatives, right? And I think that's what's happening here. People are going to start asking questions. Wow.
Look, to verify, dailymail.com, another picture of Kanye with the Satoshi Nakamoto hat.
And those boots.
And them boots. Okay, guys, so it's no longer just a Photoshop. You can't stop the signal. Bitcoin is slowly infiltrating the culture, and everyone is going to wake up to the sound money gospel. And here we are. We're in the front lines, guys. So beautiful, beautiful to see and continue to see. Anyways, this next one, Nico did this tweet. Ethereum, run by Jeff Bezos and now literally controlled by the U.S. government. I don't know if you guys are seeing, but 51% of all ETH nodes are now OFAC compliant, and the majority of ETH blocks are OFAC compliant. I think Nico was dunking on them a few months ago, and now, again, life is meme and meme is life. But the meme is people in boats going over the waterfall, and it's ETH, and we got a guy. Guys, watch out for the waterfall, and the waterfall is regulatory capture, and we have one guy, shut up, you toxic maxi, and we have another one, here comes the merge, yay, so excited. The merge happens, and someone goes over the cliff and goes, this could happen to Bitcoin too, you know. Yeah, change my code, not gonna happen. Anyways, this last one, is by memeing Bitcoin. And as you guys know, we're in the bear market. We're probably in the depths of the bear market. In my opinion, I think we're coming out of the bear market, but hey, only time will tell. And we got a Lord of the Rings meme, and I forget what this guy's name is, but he goes, "It cannot be, you fell." And we got Gandalf in all white as Bitcoin coming back from the dead. Shouts out to all the Bitcoin obituaries out there. Bitcoin stays living. It is beautiful. Bitcoin stays winning. All right, so for my meme review score, I don't think I've given this yet. I'm running out of things to give. I'm giving these my blue XLR cables. Actually, my friend made these ones, so you can't even buy these. But that's my meme review score for today.
Wow. Okay, so I'm going to do some ASMR a little bit. I'm going to give it not only one empty bag of oyster crackers, I'm going to give it two and a little bit of ASMR for you guys. Boom, 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 boom. Anyways, Cedric, what would you give those memes? Guys, by the way, this is Simply Bitcoin Live. Put your meme score in the live chat and we will read it on the meme review. Yeah, that's Cedric. What is your score?
Yeah, I'll give the gold or the Bitcoin medal to the ETH one with the boats going over, and as a consolation to them, how to 99 signs you might be a Bitcoin maximalist book.
Oh, interesting. I like it. I like it.
Chris and Frida Bobet. They wrote Bitcoin for Kiddos.
Oh, yeah, those guys, they're awesome. They came on the show. Shout out to you guys. Probably bring them on the show again now that they wrote a second book. Anyways, Santiago Gonzalez says, I give those memes Frodo's mithril chainmail. Ooh, I like that. Right? It's indestructible. I like it. Opti's neglected single gray ear hair, embracing his her
I don't have gray hairs in my ears.
when your gray ears sprout. Savage. All right, next one. Bye. You deserve real money. I love that. I give those memes a freshly assembled pine table. Any rug. I give those memes my Gruden's fishing moon boots.
Grunions fishing moon boots.
Grunions. And we got Yellow Gibbs, A New Prophecy. 23rd of December.
If you know, you know.
God damn it, Yellow. All right. Next one. Oh, Narwhal Tacos. I give the Nico's a shill in the pocket of big oyster crackers. Okay, Yellow, you have to leave. Z Logic. I give those memes a Gandalfian Balamore smackdown. Oh, very nice. A lot of Lord of the Rings reference.
Pins with one.
For the memes, I give Kanye a fish.
Oh,
all right,
man.
awesome.
Memes for the win.
Memes for the win.
For the win.
All right, guys. Don't forget to join Simply Bitcoin's Telegram group. That's how you can link us. Awesome memes to review. You got to go to www.t.me/the Simply Bitcoin channel. Also, check out www.simplybitcoin.news. It is the written version of this show. We have awesome writers. Shout out to Rustin, Zach, Paul, Weinicus, dropping the sauce. Definitely don't want to miss it. It's absolutely free. Doesn't take you anything. Opti, do you have a website or software release?
Yeah, it's software.
All right, let's check out the software release.
Bitcoin software release.
Beautiful. Okay, so Nico hit me to this, and I thought this was really cool. Oh, wait, hold on. I need to share it. One second. Lost in the sauce. I have the wrong one shared. Yeah, Nico. Okay. All right. Okay, I'll take that. Okay, guys. So, shouts out to No Bullshit Bitcoin for covering this one, but we have Onion Shares version 2.6, quick start screen, automatic censorship circumvention, and better packaging. So I wasn't aware of this, but I really like this product. I'll probably have to download it. Onion Shares an open source tool that lets you securely and anonymously share files, host websites, and chat with friends using the Tor network. What are you doing over there? What are you laughing at?
I just wanted to hear Nico's pronounced go. Fuck you, bro.
Yeah, hashtag we don't know how to speak, yet we are
Speaking.
podcasters and journalists. Anyways, share, use Onion Share to share open source tools to share secretly and anonymously over Tor network. So you can share files, receive files, chat anonymously, host a website. I think this is a really cool product. We got Opti's neglected gray hairs say Onion Share's dope AF. So We got the verification from our friends over there on the chat. Anyways, guys, if you like what we're doing, we are on Apple Podcasts, we are on Spotify, we are on Anchor, and we do have our stuff on Fountain. Again, guys, I forgot to get the Fountain login. Nico sent it to me. I haven't logged in yet, but I will get the clips, and I continue to clip us, guys. I really love you guys clipping all our stuff on Twitter and sharing that with everyone. Man, it's a good Monday, Nico. We had a good Monday start.
It is.
Good start of the week.
Speaking of good Mondays, guys, check out representltd.com. Opti's going to model. He's wearing the decentralized LTD merch, the decentralized corpse. I'm wearing Nico's favorite camo represent hoodie. I got 3 of these. They're stylish. They're comfy. And he makes Bitcoin merch. He's making Simply Bitcoin merch soon. It's a Bitcoin company after all. Guys, take advantage of the promo code in the video, audio, podcast description to get a 10% discount on representltd.com. I also want to give a very special shout out to our awesome guest. He is one of the best podcasts in the space. I'm a huge fan of it. Cedric, why don't you tell everybody what the name of the podcast is, where they could find it, and where they could find you on social media?
Sure. I host the Bitcoin Matrix podcast, a philosophical podcast about the economic, cultural, and social implications of Bitcoin. You can find on Twitter at _Bitcoin Matrix, or anywhere that you dome your podcast, and on YouTube. Definitely subscribe, share with your friends and family, and check out the show. Really appreciate it.
Awesome.
Fellas, I had a blast.
Thank you for joining us so much on Simply Bitcoin, Cedric. Really appreciate it. Cedric's becoming quite a regular. We're going to invite him again. Looks like you guys liked it. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Simply Bitcoin. If you enjoyed the show, you know what to do. Smash that like button. If you really feel like the show gave you some value, consider hitting that subscribe button. But the number one thing you could do to help the revolution and help Simply Bitcoin, share this video, get the message out there. We must orange pill as many people as possible. Guys, we love you all, and we'll see you tomorrow for another episode of Simply Bitcoin.
Which one's the best crypto asset? Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay. What's the second best? There is no second best.